Welcome to the Talkin VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley, and it is National Signing Day. But guys, gone are the days of getting excited for signing day in February. Not a lot's going to take place today. Jason Jenkins is expected to sign at 10:40 a.m. He's the three-star defensive lineman out of New Jersey, committed to Tennessee just a few days ago. He is expected to make it official a little bit later. Other than that, I don't expect a lot of action. I could see Jenkins being the only player that Tennessee signs today, but we'll see. He would put Tennessee right at 80 scholarship players, which would leave 5 spots open with the transfer portal after we get through the spring. But you've got to expect some turnover somewhere between now and after spring practice. Some guys are going to transfer out, and then we'll get excited and see what Tennessee does in the transfer portal. But again, not a lot taking place today as far as signing day. So what I wanted to talk about was Josh Heupel and the fact that he is our guy. He is a player's coach. He is everything you want. Saw this tweet floating around. Mike Eckler yesterday said, "Awesome seeing our Vol football RLDs, Alontae Taylor, Cade Mays, and VAWLS Jones Jr. So fired up to see them make the jump to the NFL." Now that's a picture at the Reese's Senior Bowl. We're going to get into it and talk about it. Here's a little closer view of that picture. That's not something that every coach does. It's not something that is expected. It's not something that's required. In fact, it's kind of rare that a coach would go out to one of these all-star games postseason. But there you can see the coaching staff, Ellerby, Willie Martinez, Josh Heupel, Coach Eckler, all showing up, showing out, showing love. We talk about family and changing the culture in Tennessee. We go back to, prior to the season starting, the dodgeball games, the cookouts, everything that Josh Heupel did, and it was authentic. It's legit. He gets it. I saw a great definition. What is a player's coach? This is a quote from Carson Palmer. It says, "It's somebody that probably played the game, so they understand how your body feels and what it's like to go through the season. Gives you extra rest. It's not somebody who goes easy on you. It's somebody that's been there and knows how it feels and know how your back feels, how your shoulders feel. They know when to pull the reins and when to push them." And that is the definition of player's coach when Carson Palmer was asked. We're going to get into it. We're going to talk about it. As always, do me a favor, go ahead and smash that like button just below the video. It's quick, it's easy, it's free. It helps the channel. Just press that little thumbs up below the video. Also, if you're new to the Talkin VAWLS Network, welcome. We're not experts. We're not insiders. We are fans just like you. So if you enjoy the content, make sure you subscribe. Click that bell for notifications. You won't miss out when we go live or when we drop a video. Just a reminder, myself and the Indie Kid will be live on Sunday evening. I'm going to be doing your 2022 baseball season preview, so I hope you guys will join us for that. But let's jump into this article. This is from 247sports.com. Theo Jackson added to roster for East-West Shrine Bowl. This is written by Patrick Brown. It says here, Tennessee will now have a total of 5 players participating in the 2 important postseason college all-star games this week, and one of them was a late addition. The East-West Shrine Bowl on Tuesday formally confirmed the addition of VAWLS defensive back Theo Jackson to its roster for the West team, where he'll again play with Tennessee defensive tackle Matthew Butler. Says Jackson previously was on the roster for the Hula Bowl last month, but gets another shot, albeit an abbreviated one, in an NFL Draft Showcase game with the East-West Shrine Bowl, which is scheduled for an 8 p.m. kickoff on Thursday in Las Vegas and will be televised by the NFL Network. Now, I don't know really how big of a deal these postseason games are, but it seems to be all about, showcasing your skills for the draft. Still excited to see, Theo Jackson added. Theo Jackson, what a great season he had this past year. And not to take away from him, but a lot of it is that position. I'm excited about Turnage stepping up and taking over in the future. We saw the week that Theo Jackson was out. Turnage stepped right in, SEC Defensive Player of the Week. I think it is a position of strength for this football program, for this defense, what Tim Banks wants to do. So I'm excited to see Turnage take over, but it's also nice to see Theo Jackson recognized and added to the East-West Shrine game. Goes on to say here, 3 Tennessee players, wide receiver and return specialist VAWLS Jones Jr., offensive lineman Cade Mays, and cornerback Alontae Taylor started their week at the Reese's Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama on Monday, and practices began on Tuesday for that game, which is slated for Saturday, 2:30 NFL Network. And again, I think it means a lot. I think it says a lot that Josh Heupel and some of these other coaches elected to show up and show love to VAWLS Jones Jr., Cade Mays, Alontae Taylor as they go through practice for the Reese Senior Bowl. It's not something that is expected. It's not something that he has to do, but it shows that he truly cares about each one of these kids. And, you know, a lot of people, when Cade Mays made the decision to go to the pro, I saw a lot of hate. A lot of hate, whether it was in the comments section, whether it was on Facebook, talking about how he couldn't stay healthy and talking about how it's all about me, me, me. Cade Mays served his time. He played. He graduated. He deserves an opportunity to go to the NFL. Alontae Taylor, the true definition of a VFL. Go back and watch SEC Media Days. The way Alontae Taylor represented the University of Tennessee. He is a leader. Love to see that kid have success. VAWLS Jones Jr. chose Tennessee. Left USC. Moved from out west to the East Coast. Came to Tennessee. Talked about his love for the Power T, for the fan base. What wide receiver wouldn't want to play in this offense? I think VAWLS Jones Jr. transferred here for an opportunity, and he fell in love with the culture at Tennessee. The article goes on to say Butler has already turned heads of analysts and NFL personnel during practices in Las Vegas. So again, this is an opportunity to showcase your skills to NFL scouts and personnel. It says Jackson will get at least 1 day of practices to do the same and potentially enhance his odds of being selected in the NFL draft at the end of April. The versatile defensive back from Nashville will have impressive tape from his super senior season with the VAWLS to point to in any case. Jackson, who was the starter at the star nickel position, also played safety and corner at various points of the 2021 season and had a career year and one of the most productive defensive backs in the SEC, earning second-team all-conference honors from the league's coaches. Said he finished his Tennessee career with 190 tackles, 12 of those for a loss, 1.5 sacks, 18 pass breakups, and 3 interceptions in 56 games. His playmaking production was minimal going into 2021, but Jackson transformed himself over the offseason thanks to a sense of urgency and increased time in the film room, and the results were impressive and now have him on the NFL's radar. How many stories do we have like this? Jackson transformed himself over the offseason. Cedric Tillman. Cedric Tillman is the picture-perfect example of what happens when you buy in, you put in the work, and that starts with the coach. It is the coach's job to get you to buy in, and that goes back to the quote from Carson Palmer. Josh Heupel's been there, done that. Not only did he play college football, but he did it at a high level, won a national championship, Heisman Trophy runner-up. Josh Heupel knows what these kids are going through, and that's why when it goes back to the preseason, when it goes back to fall camp, his evaluation of Joe Milton, we see Joe Milton on game day, and we say Joe Milton couldn't get it done. But the reality is Josh Heupel sees what Joe Milton does week in and week out in practice. I trust him to make the right decision. Now, we as fans, we can flip out, we can lose our minds, we can speculate, we can pretend all we want. There aren't any of us that know more about playing the quarterback position in college football than Josh Heupel. We are in good hands. It's going to come down to recruiting. Can Josh Heupel recruit on the defensive side of the ball? If so, I think he is going to be our head coach for a long, long time. But first and foremost, he's a player's coach. And again, he's showing that love, showing out, showing up, being there for Cade Mays, Alontae Taylor, VAWLS Jones Jr. Hit that comment section. Let me know your thoughts. Is it overrated? Does it mean anything? What did you think when you saw the picture with some of the coaches out there showing love on the kids? Let me know your thoughts. If you have not done so yet, please smash that thumbs up on the way out the door. Also, go check out the official merchandise of the Talkin' VAWLS Network. You can go to bonfire.com/store/TalkinVAWLS. Any and all support greatly appreciated. We're on that road to 12,000 subscribers, always looking onward and upward. Do us a favor. Let somebody know. If you know a Tennessee fan, somebody that's a diehard, loves Tennessee athletics, whether it's baseball, basketball, football, let them know about the Talkin' VAWLS Network. Pick up the merchandise. Bonfire.com/store/TalkinVAWLS. That's going to do it for this one. This is the Talkin' VAWLS Network. My name is Boogie Bentley. Go Big Orange.